Canada Post has recorded losses 7 years in a row, approaching 1 billion. I mean, this is kind of a problem. Here's my question: is how does it go from? Because this is all kind of you could live with it, you know, even a quarter billion. If you got to lose that to run a postal service for people that because some places, if you had to go pure later or something like that, it's retarded. I sent a book to the East Coast and it cost me 3 times what it would on Canada Post, and I'm in a pretty like
Whoa, hang on. What you mean? Canada Post wasn't cheaper?
Canada Post was
Or
on
sorry,
strike
it
when I
was
sent
cheaper. It
it.
was
Canada
cheaper.
Post was cheaper for sure.
Well, that's weird. But isn't Pure Later owned by the government anyways? So it's pretty much a government operation.
Yeah, but it was still I was surprised. I was actually taken aback by
Like,
the price to ship the book. I was like, "What?" I was like, "The book isn't worth that."
where was that to go back east with $1?
To go
By
to,
Pure
Buddy for
Later?
the Freedom combo. Yeah, I sent him a book, and it was like 35 bucks or something like that. Might have been over $40. They weigh it and all this stuff, and I think with Canada Post, it wasn't cheap, but it was still more like 15,
15 or 20.
Something.
Because I hear people bitching again that it's be easier to ship stuff to the States or even from the States to here is cheaper than going from here to back east.
It's, and I mean, to send letters and stuff, it's definitely a lot cheaper. 'Cause it's
But
just
how do they? But I don't understand how they record a profit and loss if they're a government because they're a crown corporation or whatever. Like, are they a crown corporation? So
or not even
show,
that.
they show profit and loss. Like, did they? I didn't know they actually really until recently that they even measured this stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, these I didn't even notice, but these 3 years here are in the plus.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
mean. Like, so
yeah.
so after COVID really just tanked them. It's like they couldn't recover after COVID. It really looks like they were slipping, and then COVID came, and it just did a number on them, and they could never get it back.
So is it like corruption or is it
It's just like it's
because
just
here's the thing, Amazon is fucking a lot of these places over too. Now, I don't know the total ins and out of it, so I'm just starting to look into it, but Amazon comes in and like does this weird like mass contract stuff. They did it to the USPS too, where they've got like they're paying almost nothing for shipping because of volume contracts or something like that. So that could have something to do with it, the rise of online shipping and Amazon. Because I mean, I'm paying $9 a month for free shipping. And
do you remember
I use Amazon enough that it's like, it's crazy that you're shipping me this $15 part for my truck. Like, and I'm in the middle of fixing my truck right now. So it's like I need a part every couple days. It's a $35 window not button or this thing. So it's like, how is it feasible? It's how can you afford to now that being said, usually they're using these like in telecom and stuff like that. But I have read some stuff, and I'll dig into it for the
well
next show on Amazon's role in the demise of the postal.
well who were we talking to on our other show that was in the work? They were a postal worker in the States, and they said there's a huge room of backlogged packages that weren't getting delivered because they had to focus on what, Amazon. Like, weren't
Yeah.
they? So their normal customer packages were put on the back burner, I think, right? Like, they just had this constant room full of old packages that wouldn't get delivered because of all that. So I think the U.S. Postal Service was a mess as well because of this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna dig into that for the next episode, so I'm not talking out my ass. But to me, something's going on here. I mean, it just, it's too much that you start losing. You've got almost $1 billion swing here in 7 years.
Do we get a discount? Do I get a discount because they don't deliver to the house? Like, we have to use PO boxes in these
I
small
think
towns. I
it
mean,
is.
did you see somebody from Canada Post posted something about they could save a couple $100 million a year if they just did PO boxes instead of delivering to people's homes?
Well, here's the other thing. Do they have
No kidding.
to do it every day? Could it be 3 days a week, 2 days a week? I mean, I don't know. It's things to think about. But like I say, to me, this chart screams of either corruption or some sort of other corporate takeover, whether it's an Amazon thing but something's going on here to have a swing that big. Canadian households receive an average. This is Marty up north. Canadian households receive an average of 2 letters per week. I think it's time Canada Post considered only doing deliveries once a week. They could get rid of 80% of the letter carriers. But that's not the letter carriers. It can't be the letter carriers. They would have had to have hired 10 times the letter carriers for that to be the problem. Or they would have had to start doing 10 times less work. And even with the competency crisis and everything slipping, I think even cutting it in half is crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, did you see what their demands were for this? For this
Yeah,
year?
there was a couple crazy ones in there, but you
Yeah.
know, half of them were like, that
Oh,
makes
here
sense.
it goes. Oh,
So no, this is
oh
the
no.
how much it costs to deliver mail. So I want to say I'm a rural mailbox. So I don't know. He's a group mailbox, community mailbox kiosk, which is what I am. But I think that me and Marty are probably more like down in this one because Marty's on an acreage too. So I'm sure they're considering us the rural, which is also just it's a group mailbox. So we could be in that one. Like the winter tires seems fine to me, like if you're delivering, I think actually while we're on this topic, I think he posted the list here. Here's the list right here. So let's see, we'll go through them and you tell me what you think each one. A 19% wage increase over 4 years.
I can't comment. I mean, it's just like that seems
You
like a
guys
lot,
are
but
fine with
everything's so messed up in Canada.
it,
I don't. I can't really comment. It
and
seems
you don't know
ridiculous.
how much money they're making.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Yeah, I mean,
10 paid medical leave on top of 7 personal days. That's crazy.
yeah.
Like I think when I was working, I got 6 days a year. And like what, 3 personal days? So that should be just a fertility treatment benefit. That's nuts.
Well, I mean, you weren't really in a standard industry category either. I mean, I remember trying to get them up to just doing 10 days. We just do 10 days, that's almost one a month for people to have personal days,
Yeah,
10
I
personal
was
days.
like bare minimum. My company
Yeah.
was bare minimum. So
You're
fertility treatment benefit, that seems crazy, right? We shouldn't be paying for that.
no.
Should we? I mean, I'll tell you, I got a much better time. You know what? I think I'd be okay with fertility treatment because we need more babies. Gender affirming care benefit? Nah, that's fucking nuts. I'm already paying for that to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, does the work have to pay for it when the hospitals are, we have free healthcare?
It's not free.
Or is the gender affirming care, this is going to include your like psychiatrist, your blah, 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 all of that, like care before you get your tits cut off. Paid meals for 5-hour shifts or more. I think that's law, isn't it?
No, paid meals? I mean, a paid
I'm
break.
assuming a paid meal would be like your lunch. So it's like
No,
you
no,
don't
no,
have
it's not a
technically in Alberta I know in Alberta the law is you don't have to pay someone their half-hour lunch break until it gets to 8 hours. Or maybe it's a paid break.
no, but you're not no,
never
Darren, you're
got
talking
paid.
about meals, Darren, not the break. They're talking about their paid lunch, like somebody paying for their lunch.
I think they're talking about just because now that I think about it, I never got a paid lunch. I got a paid break. Lunch
Yeah,
was
yeah,
off
that's what
the
these are.
clock.
This is not what they're talking about. There's
I think
already
that's what they're talking about is they want a paid lunch break.
no, they have a paid, don't they have it's
No, you
probably
wouldn't.
law. It's probably federal law that
even at 8 hours, you don't get a paid lunch break, right? Because I always had to work an extra half hour at the end of the day for my lunch break. And the reason I think that is because I think in the legislation, like when you look at it, that's what it says: is one is listed as a break and one is listed as a meal. And because I remember fighting with them with the same place to like, can't you just pay them for the lunch break when they're out here? Like they live. No. Limit surveillance for productivity. 88% of wages if injured at work, which I think would be normal, wouldn't it? I think that's what WCB does. 88%. Anyway, vision care benefit seems fine. Increased health specialist benefit. I don't know what that is. Protection against technology.
I didn't notice all these ones.
So is that not letting a robot take your job?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
No contracting workout, which seems fine.
I don't know that you don't know how much they. I mean, maybe they can't get enough
Well,
employees,
my
and
concern is they're contracting work out to Purolator.
yeah, right.
Snow tires for rural mail carriers.
Yeah.
Seems fine. 8-hour routes. Seems fine. I mean, you'd have an easier time finding people if you give them an 8-hour day. Benefits for temporary employees. I don't think so. Eliminate separate sort from delivery. I don't know what that means. That's mail inside baseball.
Yeah. Well,
So
I don't know. I mean, my version of an 8-hour day, like my version of the post office day, is they start super early and they're done by lunch. So it's like however
yeah,
fast they can walk and do their route, they get
I
done
think
way
they
before 8 hours.
try and do most of the employees at 5 hours, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Probably because then they don't have to give benefits. I mean, I'm
So
sure.
they want 8 hours. So that's why the thing is in there 5 hours because they want a paid meal at 5 hours. So you know what they're doing? They're saying, get out of here in 5 hours a day so we don't have to give you a lunch break. Right. So now they're saying we want 8-hour shifts. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's some Walmart shit.